So let me do this here and we'll go ahead and get started. Wholeness and Balance Vibrations for all that are tuning in. We are here for the second day of our worldwide meditation. We've made some optimizations to ensure that we're transmitting this message clearly. One quick second here. Yes. And we're here also in a special time, a time that we are really being awakened to the truth of who we are, the truth of our connections, the value of each other, and the power of the eternal knowledge of self and recognition that all is self. And all those that you see here that are in this family are in resonance. And this resonance says a lot. If you're here, there's something about you. You can dispel all chatter in the brain about maybe you're the same, maybe it's not going to happen for you, maybe you're doomed, all of that. Make sure that you remove that, because that's definitely not you. And who you really are is a reflection of everyone here. And because we do our best every single day, day in, day out, to keep it balanced, stay on the level. This doesn't mean that you're the best one. This doesn't mean that you're the worst one. It just really means that you know that you're the one. You know that you are the being that is responsible for yourself and for the energy that you produce, the energy that you bring into other space. And because you've accepted that mission within yourself, it also puts you into a realm at a time where your other brothers and sisters need that mentorship. And so we give that mentorship in multiple ways. We do it even just with our presence. So the only thing that's really expected from you is just to be present. But there's a myriad of other ways, since we have all these organs and we have such a beautiful way of expressing ourselves. They say we're the glove of the supreme being. I love that term, because when you know the hand is the hand, and that if that's the real thing, to be able to put a nice glove on the hand, it allows you to be able to interact. And our interactions here that we've been having on this cosmos has only been growth for the soul. It's always important for us to remember that no matter what happens, this is still growth for infinite being. And as you rise beyond this, which you will, we all do, and you're still there in your consciousness, aware, that is yet again another great shock and another great marvel of your existence, that you will go on beyond this without a doubt. Also, I do want to speak very briefly to the surprising things that are happening in the reality. I mentioned last night in our Tribe Vibes build that this is for you. If this is shocking to you, what's happening, this is for you a sign of also the spiritual things. Just like you can maybe know a little bit about some spiritual topics and you may think something's going to happen. Maybe you'll ascend into the heavens. Maybe you'll be able to unlock this power and potential if you haven't out already. But there may be another side of your mind that's like, yeah, how do we even know that that is real? How do we even know that could even happen? And if you can remember that kind of state of mind and see now also that maybe about other things about the world, you was like, how could that even happen? I don't even see what these conspiracy theorists are even talking about. And then all of a sudden you're shocked that something happens. Instead of concentrating that into negative situations or distorted situations, that's the correct term, always make sure that you also realize that that happens also in the balanced or the positive situations, that you will get to a stage where you will witness something about yourself and you will witness something about this existence that will be shocking to you. And it'll bring such a level of comfort, awareness, happiness. You can enjoy this now. I would just say, get used to it. Get used to amazing things happening. So I'm going to open up today, because I'm actually now done framing this up. Excuse me, I actually wasn't even live. I'm going to start off, which is great. I want to start off today by leading us in an honoring, and then we're going to begin the silent meditation. Tomorrow, we do have a build on YouTube possibly. We'll broadcast pretty much the same way. Even if you want to jump in, you already have the link. You can jump in. And we're going to continue to build the energy. We're going to demystify many things, and we're going to answer some questions, most importantly, especially if you have a spiritual favorite out there, a teacher, and they mention something that maybe doesn't really resonate completely with you yet. I would hope to either dispel or demystify, basically make some clarity like, hey, this is definitely not lining up with the massive truth, or actually this is what this being is really referring to, and this is what they mean, and here's an easier way to understand it. So I'm going to go ahead and begin. Just going to switch screens here. Thanking those who have joined into the space today, all the members of the tribe showing force, being here early in the morning, late at night, around the world, and ready to do this thing for the world. I also will say, for those that are not as familiar with meditation, it may seem like when you're sitting there and time is going by, the mind may be racing, and you may feel like, wow, why am I even spending time like this? Like, I'm bored. I need to go and do something. I need to go to the store. I need to go. And if that starts happening, remember, you have a proficient mastery over continuously talking to yourself. So it would only be right that you have or gain a sufficient mastery over making sure that your consciousness remains quiet. Because what really allows you to go into what you call the dream world, which is the astral plane, which many things can be done on, is that you've actually accomplished turning off your mind. Now, you call it sleep. But once you let go of a certain gear that is what you're thinking with right now, and you let go long enough, another one kicks in. They call this the tonal or the novel. This is the two different bodies, the watcher of the day, which is your sun, and the watcher of your night, which you can say is your moon, per se. And your body switches these like it switches guard, just like the earth switches guard. Now the moon's out, then the sun's out. Your body switches guard. And for the seer, they're capable of switching that inside of their consciousness at whim. And that is through the meditation. We can work with guided meditations first because it's great. Meditation can be used for different things. Sometimes it may be we need to use a different word. We're calling it all meditation when the ancients have different words for different things that you're doing. So we will have some guided meditations to actually assist others in clearing energy. But this word meditation, as it translates in English, is actually a reference to the middle, the mediator. And there's no talking inside of the middle chamber. There's no chatter. It's almost like when the plaintiff and the defendant have an opportunity to state whatever it is that they want to state. Now the judge, who is sitting in the center, must, what they call it, deliberate. And they generally go into their chambers. This is the depth of your own consciousness. And then they sit silently and they entreat wisdom. Basically, let me go into my consciousness. Let me see everything that I saw, and then let me see nothing. And then the answer will come to me. There's a familiarity that has to be there with that. Even though you think nothing is going on, something very powerful is going on. And then when it's ready to respond back or ripple back into this realm, you will see it. And this is why it's so important to do the meditations, because you're pushing energy in a different direction. Right now, when you're thinking, you're actually talking. So energy is going in a certain direction. So I can be talking to you verbally, or I can be thinking at you. Either way, I'm sending energy in a certain direction. So what meditation gets you familiar with is how to pull the energy into another direction. This is the key to mastering yourself, to mating yourself with your other side of self. All of those different variants, the twin flames, all of that is all just a reference to something going on actually inside of you. It will manifest things on the outside of you that are akin to what's going on inside. And this is why you don't have to work on the reality externally all the time in order to change it. You generally need to do that if you're trying to change it for others. So many are here on missions trying to change things for others. So there's a lot of external stuff that you have to do. But the internal mission, because this is a twofold mission, the internal mission is first to be able to all power comes from inside of you, not outside of you. And that the what you unlock inside of you reflects on the outside of you. That's exactly how the system works. So if we're doing things on the outside only, expecting something to happen in the inside, this is improper. It will lead to certain results, but it won't be necessarily the results that you're looking for when you're talking about advanced states of consciousness. So now what we do is we center ourselves into the space of ourselves, and we challenge ourselves to not say anything to self and to just let self be. This could take days, it could take weeks. You may already know how to do it. Also, every master meditator has to practice this. This is why it's called balance. Balance is not something, if you notice, like balance is on the tip even of a triangle, right? It's something that constantly must be achieved. You will not find people saying, "Oh, I achieved balance and it's over for me." No, balance is something you always have to work on. And so you have these tools, you have these techniques, and these techniques, they make you the most present. If you're in there with the Dojin masters, the lamas, or whatever, and they got you in the deep sanctum and it's now 101 for you, they're going to have you sit there and meditate. They're going to teach you a pose that has nothing to do with contorting your bodies and aesthetics, but simply being comfortable and alert. Comfortable, meaning relaxed, but alert. And as the meditation begins, the first leg up the ladder, this is the black square on the bottom of the ziggurat. Before you can even traverse this square, you must learn how to sit there with patience, which is time, to stay grounded, meaning that you're to remain grounded from your say your sphincter in that area into the ground, or if you're standing up from the roots of your feet into the ground, you're to remain grounded. And now the test begins of how long you can stay grounded without your consciousness interrupting you with these ideas of being tired, with these ideas of ideas, being bored, etc. Because once you make that connection and you get the taste, this means that you feel the body begin to go into activation, which it'll start rocking back and forth a little bit. You'll feel like that there's a field that is really around you, because there is, and now you've stepped it up into another gear. Once you start feeling that, it becomes confirmation for you that this is working. I'm doing something. This is a gateway to something that I don't know about. And then it continues from there, the practice, and then the practice takes you into a greater stage of awareness of self. It is regenerative. So for those that are out there worrying about their age and their appearance and all of that, the most powerful element that is not in a bottle at all to keep turning back the clock of the aging and the forgetfulness. Aging is forgetfulness. So when you stop forgetting, you start preserving your youth. Then when you start remembering things from times unknown, you actually start turning the clock back. The entry to this is meditation, because meditation is one of the most proficient ways to mend together the telomeres. The telomeres are these, let's say if you imagine a shoestring, and you got that hard thing on the end of your shoestring that allows to put it in the hole. But as the shoes start getting worn out and you wear them more, you notice that starts breaking up, and then it becomes more difficult for you to thread it. That's a 100% diagram of what happens with the telomeres. The connection to your DNA synapses gets fuzzy over time if it's not regenerated. This leads to forgetfulness, it leads to aging, and it leads to lack of connection. What meditation does is it's constantly sending pulses through your body. And these pulses are zapping those telomeres with energy, you can call it chi, that repairs them and restores them and refines them. In a nutshell, it uses them. Anything you use in the body and it feels that it is needed, it regenerates itself. The sign of the human being a god is that a human can cut themselves and the cut will mend. That is the most amazing thing. That will make, the primitive dance and scream and shout to watch a cut heal itself over a period of time. It's the sign of divinity. But generally where your cut is something that you're using so it grows back. Inside of organs, when we stop using our organs, which happen when we neglect certain chakras and we neglect certain organs, when we stop using them, they stop regenerating. So we know the key to life is the meditation. So now we are just in this challenge with ourselves to keep living life. And I'll say it just that way. We are in this challenge with ourselves because every day, and I've been bringing this out just a little bit more. I'm going to jump into the meditation now so we can cap off at around the 45-minute. But realistically, some know that the benefits start at 15 minutes of meditation a day. We're pushing it up because we're a little bit more on a critical situation. We're going to have 30 minutes here. We have the golden intonation, which should zap a lot of stuff out of the mind if you could just focus on the tones. But again, in this time, you're activating this aspect of yourself. You have all these stars with you and around you. That's these other beings, these other eyes, these other lights, these other portals. And it's our geometry. You may ask yourself, hey, why would that even work on a computer or something that's sent to digital, and then you let the mind take you into a whole nother area? It works because it's about the geometry. The ancient beings, it's about their geometry and patterns. So the way your face is shaped, the way your nose curves, the way your hips curve, the way your shoulders slope, that is your geometry. And that's what you're actually speaking with. It is the most direct, authentic replica of who you truly are. So we're here witnessing all the geometry of the stars. And now we go into this meditation. So I'm going to turn on our tones. And as we know, when the tones turn off, that meant we hit the 30-minute mark. So we don't need to watch the clock. We don't need to say, hey, is that going to be over yet? You're challenging yourself now today. You're the one that is in there with the master of yourself. And also in a time where you do need this. We all need this. We all need you to wake up and to stay awake and to hold the space. Here we go. Just remember to take deep breaths. This is the major key. Just complete your breaths, complete your circuits. Let us all take a moment to stay in tune with self, to enjoy this space that you're in, to realize this level of awareness, this level of connection with self is the great attainment. And as we go forward into this day, that we will keep this energy with us in our hearts. We'll keep this connection with us in our hearts. We'll stay in tune with this divine wellspring of energy, truth, love, sincerity, and all the great things, and we'll be able to spread that to those who need that during this time, need that refreshment. We'll continue to climb this ladder together. We're on the second step. We'll be forward tomorrow at 7 a.m., same time on your side. We'll also go into a beautiful podcast and sharing of wisdom. And that's what we're going to do, tribe. So, wholeness and balance vibrations. Thank you for those who came in today to hold the space, all the tribe members. You are so appreciated. It's really a time that being here and showing strength, showing connection, and showing love is paramount. And so I'll see everybody soon. Wholeness and balance vibration. You can unmute your lines if you have that ability over there to, give the rest of the world your connection.
Wholeness. Wholeness. Wholeness tribe. Wholeness family. Wholeness. Wholeness. Wholeness tribe. Wholeness.
Yes, family. Wholeness.
Wholeness. Yes. Wholeness. Love you all.
Best of divine grace.
And there we are, beautiful human tribe. We'll see each other in just a little bit, and we'll always be connected in our hearts. Wholeness.
Wholeness. Leave the meeting.
Much love, family. Wholeness.